keep them in your home or love to see them in theirs, these are the creatures that bring us all together.
Reptiles. We're going to be delving into the experiences of reptile lovers from around the block and around the world. This is the Reptile Talk Podcast.
Boom! What is going on? What is going on, Rob? What is going on, everybody? This is Jeremy Turgeon from Brassman Reptiles.
And I'm Rob, and I'm creeping a reel.
And true to brand, we're a little late, but that's okay.
Hey. Today was just like just a shit show, the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a day. So to preface, I was just in Raleigh, which is your neck of the woods, picking up rats. And thank God there's dry ice on the cooler, so I was able to just rush right into the house and make this happen. But after sitting in a little bit of traffic, it made me delayed to get there, which then made everything else get delayed. So I rushed out of there and got here just in time. So that's what I got. That's what I got. People are saying there's static in my mic. Oh,
yeah,
no.
on your mic.
Oh no! Let's see. Is this maybe better?
Nope, still crackly.
Oh no! Okay, I'm gonna try to figure this one out.
Oh, you want me to just run with it for a little bit?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, cool. I don't care. So this is our first episode back from Daytona. And then Jeremy had AnimalCon last weekend. I didn't go to AnimalCon. I don't know. I just wouldn't have felt right going there. And then just scheduling and everything. I really wanted to do Daytona. So I picked Daytona over AnimalCon. And I saw a bunch of people from AnimalCon at Daytona. So it was pretty fun. But I've been back now for a week doing a little bit of herping. For my job, I'm outside all the time. So I got to see a whole bunch of stuff. The other day, I helped save a little copperhead, so that's pretty sweet. And it's a little tiny one with a bright green tail, so I was super pumped about that. I'm just trying to see. Hold on, my mic is over here a little bit, so I don't know. This mic's pretty good though, so I'm hoping that it picks up everything. And then I got a new setup. I'm hopefully going to be using this area right here for doing the podcast going forward. Where you at?
Woo. All right, let's see. Is this better?
Perfect.
Hey, awesome. Thank God.
Damn, Jay Muller with the super chat. We appreciate you.
Hey, Jay Muller in the house. Throwing it
Missed
down.
You over at AnimalCon.
Okay, man. Sheesh. There's a lot going on. Mike, I know I have a ring light that I ordered that was supposed to already be here, but it got delayed. That is apparently the whole theme of my life right now is delay and delay and delay. Oh man, but yes, okay. Now we're alive. I'm very tense right now. Jesus. Yeah. Hi, Rob.
What's up? You got stuff hatching out all over the freaking place, and
yeah, man,
out your hidden Chihuahua clown combo.
Yeah, man. So I hit the hidden Chihuahua Enchi black pastel clown, and I'm thrilled. It was the last chance. I had 4 chances to hit it this year, and of course, I missed it all the way through until the last one. But I'm super stoked, and I think the other one is hidden Chihuahua black pastel clown. I think Enchi would have made it more reduced than what it is. But I don't know. So I'm just taking it for what it is. But I'm in love with this combo. So yeah, I'm loving it. And it's a female, so it's staying right here. So I get to watch it grow and develop. Oh, people are saying the static is back.
Yeah, it's back.
I'm going to throw a temper tantrum. Hang on.
Oof. Sounds like you're speaking into a megaphone.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, actually, that doesn't sound that bad.
That doesn't sound that bad?
Yeah.
Okay, great. We're doing a stripped down version because now I can't hear anything. I'm gonna like lose my mind. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, I guess it's gonna be really true. We're gonna pull the NPR. Don't listen to the first 100 episodes. Oh my gosh. No, we don't. You know what? If you guys want to super chat me money, super chat me like $2,000 so I can buy a new laptop because that's what this is all about.
Just get something that's not an iPad. It's way less expensive.
Dude, but I need this for music.
Boo. Boo.
Anywho. But yeah, so that was my last ball python clutch of the season. So I'm done hatching stuff out. Now it's just feeding everything, getting stuff ready to go. I hatched out Enchi Inferno. What was it? Enchi Inferno Odium Fader, 100% het hypo, female. So I'm pretty happy with that. She's gonna stay here too. Yeah, for some cool hypo combos. So some cool stuff is going on.
Mm-hmm.
How are your babies doing?
The baby blood pythons that I hatched out are evil, but that means that they all ate frozen thawed first try. No, you put it in front of their face and they eat it. So those guys are going to be going up. I got to find a night this week or next week to photograph stuff and start putting them on Morph Market because they've all taken 3 or 4 meals now and they're slamming it. And there's some killer, really nice striped bloods in there. And both the parents are nice and red and everything. So I'm sure people will want them. I think I'm only going to hold back a pair from that clutch. Just because blood pythons aren't super duper my thing. I like the Borneos more. My Borneo clutch has been giving me nothing but problems. Like they are all being picky. I only have like 2 or 3 that are eating. So like, it's just been a pain in the butt.
Heck
but
yeah.
The blood pythons are doing great. The carp pythons are doing awesome. I got to photograph a couple more of those and put them up on Morph Market. The ones that I'm holding back, holy crap, man. They're just incredible. They're so cool. And then I got to upgrade a couple things from last season and all that sort of stuff. Damn, whole bunch of super chats.
Yeah, we're getting the laptop fun started. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Maybe before Christmas.
We appreciate you. And
Yeah,
Natalie's Reptile. And did you see that Mike's Monitor said he just got some anthill pythons?
I did just see that Perthensis. Heck yes.
Bro, I don't really like Antaracea all that much, but I love anthills. I don't know what it is.
Anthills are cool.
They're cool.
So that's a cool way for me to segue into talking about AnimalCon a little bit. Because I was talking with Peter Birch from Australia.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, he breeds mostly children's pythons, but he's got some anthills and spotteds and all that other stuff. And man, if we could only have
some of the spotted morphs that they got over there, the calico stuff, and
even the children eye, man, holy crap. Like just some amazing animals. So it's really cool to pick his brain a little bit on Antaracea, and he produces more Antaracea than anybody else in Australia.
Wow,
which is crazy. I think he said he's got like 800 adults.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
well, wait. I that's a lot, but Antaracea replaced ball pythons in Australia. So
yes.
There's lots of people who have 800 ball python collections. So like,
exactly.
It's equivalent.
Yeah, exactly. So for those who don't know, in Australia, you can only keep native species, and it also depends on the state that you're in as well. for what you can and can't keep of those native species. Oh man, Haley with the with the laptop fund. We're gonna inch it all the way there, man. I appreciate you guys so much. But yes, so that was really cool. He was one of the few people that I was like really geeked out to meet. You know, I mean, there's so many guys in Australia that are just keeping. Obviously, I love carpets, so I'm always geeked about that. But they've got some of the coolest snakes, just some of the coolest reptiles. So I just love talking with keepers from Australia because they're like, yeah, we can only keep the local stuff. And we're like, we want more of your local.
Yeah. I would like some death adders and
yeah, right, exactly.
Place monitors.
Right. So it was dope to talk with Peter. It was cool to meet Dingo. He definitely has a larger than life personality. Mm-hmm. Like, oh my gosh, you can't help but be brought in by whenever he speaks. I was like, holy crap, there's a reason why you're very good at what you do. So that was awesome. It was awesome to meet so many people. Bionic Benny was in the house. It was great to meet Benny. Shout out to you, man. All the support and everything. It was finally great to meet you in person. Jay Muller with the laptop fund edition. You guys are crushing it. Maybe by Christmas. But yeah, that was cool. There was just a lot of people there. I think the other person I was excited to meet and speak with was Mike Holston, the real Tarzan. Specifically because of all the traveling that he's been doing. He was just in Borneo, so I was really excited to talk with him about the travels to Borneo. Man, they've got some cool snakes in Borneo.
Yeah, they do. They do.
The private collectors there. I was geeked out by. He showed me this photo of like a decent sized Borneo shorttail, like nothing too special, but like a wild Borneo shorttail. And I was like, man, that's a neat looking Borneo. He's like, yeah, they fed it to a king cobra. And I was like, oh, I mean, food, would be, but I was like, also that Borneo is probably 30 plus inches.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Yeah, it was not a small Borneo, and it was fed to like a 15, 16 foot king.
Damn.
Like, holy crap. Nicole is in the house. What's up? But yeah, so it was really interesting getting to speak with him about all of his travels, and just seeing some of the stuff that he's been seeing, talking with the locals in those areas. It was crazy because he was like, you can talk to a biologist that goes out there and whatever, and they'll show you some stuff, they'll educate you on some stuff. But he's like, if you really want to know what's out there, you go find the locals, man. Mm-hmm. Like, you just go find the locals. So he had so much information about that stuff. I was very impressed. Like, he was definitely soaking it in. I think he said next he's going to be going to India. So I mean, man, he's traveling the world, man. And like I was saying to you before, he's just got such a super unique perspective, getting to see all that stuff that most of us, the vast majority of us, can only hope, to ever get to experience. So that was super cool. It's always good to see Brian.
Yeah.
Marchek and Potter. It was great to see both of them. Yeah, just so many amazing people. It was a cool event from the standpoint of, like, it was kind of part expo, part panel discussions. Obviously, there were the meet and greets and everything like that. So it was like part expo, part Comic-Con, kind of vibe. Yeah, I mean, it was something very unique, and obviously there's a lot of bugs that had to get worked out, but there's so much positivity in the room. It was amazing, and I already know that they're looking on to next year and expanding it for next year. because that's how well it went this year. And Rob, you need to go. Because the amount of people that asked me where you were, why you weren't there, like Will Nace was there. I didn't get to hang out with Will all that much, but it was good to see you, bud.
Yeah, I don't know. I wanted to take off more time for Daytona and then for Tinley. And so since I started my new job in January, I was like, I probably will be pushing it if I take 2 weeks off, for AnimalCon and for Daytona. So I was like, I'd rather just take a little bit longer for Daytona. Maybe next year. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like that's not my scene. I feel like I'd just be standing there, just be like, hey, I saw these people last weekend at Daytona. So
there were definitely some folks that were there at Daytona, but I'll tell you, there were probably more folks that weren't.
Okay.
As far as like the creators, content creators, and like breeders and stuff like that were there, most of them were not at Daytona. It was a different crowd. There were definitely a few, like Adeline was there. So definitely some of the folks we saw at Daytona were there, but it was a different crowd. It was also just a different vibe. Because it wasn't an expo.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was way more focused on the panels and keynote speakers and stuff like that. And then the meet and greets. It was basically like the hang element of a reptile show minus the reptile show, if that makes more sense.
It sounds like a Comic-Con where it's got like a little bit of like buy, sell, tradey kind of stuff, but it's mostly like come see the person that you like and go listen to the panel about the people talking about behind the scenes on this comic or this thing or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, which is a different vibe because I think, at least for the reptile folks, I think a lot of them expected an expo because that's all we ever do, are reptile expos. So this was definitely a different vibe, but it was cool. It was also, it was fun to see Kevin in a social element.
for an entire weekend.
Yeah, that was a 100% social thing. Like there was no anything else, But then the after parties were just more of the hangs for the creators and the VIPs. I'm super happy that he got to go to Gatorland though. And
I'm bummed that I missed that. That part I'm very bummed that. I mean, I went to Gatorland last week and I had a great time, but it looked like you guys got to do a whole lot of fun stuff while you were there.
Yeah, it was awesome. So they had the park kind of cordoned off, so we couldn't go to the whole park, but because there's just way too many people. But Savannah, shout out to you, Savannah, because you're just amazing and wonderful. It was great to see her again. She brought Kevin and Donnie and I past some of the barricades so that he could see the Cuban crocs and like all the other like wonderful things. Oh my gosh. Scott Crow.
Whoa, what the heck?
Hi, Scott.
Wow, that's a blast from the past.
Yeah.
For all the people who are watching right now, Scott Crow worked at a reptile shop when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Now he owns an exotic fish store, or I think it's a couple stores now in Rhode Island. So Ocean State Aquatics, you should check him out. He's not sponsoring us, but you should check him out if you're in New England. He's awesome. And I remember back in the day, he had a picture with a big scolopendra on his arm. Dude. And he's like holding up like this. And I was like, no.
Nah, bro.
Yeah. Oh.
But yeah, so I mean, it was a cool event. Kev was geeking out.
Yeah.
Geeking out with the leucistic alligators and the Cuban crocs and all of that stuff. So that was cool to see. And then Donnie improperly booked their flights, so they got stuck in Florida for an extra day. Yeah. But they made the best of it, went to Ty Park's place, and they had a blast at Iguana Land. So that was great. I'm happy for him. But yeah, it was a cool vibe. I think I definitely think you should go and check it out. So
I will consider it for next year. It was just not in the cards for this year, but maybe.
Yeah, no, I totally get it, man. I totally get it. But it was fun. See, what I would want to do, doing it again, especially if it falls on the weekend after Daytona, which I'm not sure if it's going to do that again. But it would be like, I'm just going to take 2 weeks off, do Daytona. I won't leave so early for Daytona. Like, I'll get there for the weekend for Daytona.
Yeah.
Spend that week in Florida and just hit people's places and hang.
Yeah.
Do AnimalCon and then spend a couple extra days in Florida and then dip out after that. I think that would be the move if it's scheduled the same.
Yeah.
But
I had a good time at Daytona, but I feel like, I don't know, I was trying to cram so much in there that, like, I don't know. I took 6 days and I still was like, man, I wish I could take a couple more days.
yeah. No, I get that, man. I definitely get that. So yeah, but now Daytona was a blast.
Daytona was awesome, man.
Yeah,
I had a really good time, and did a little bit of field herping, did a little bit of expo, did a little bit of hanging out, hit the beach, did some swimming, didn't get bit by a shark. So hey, that's all I could ask for.
That's all good things.
All good things.
All good things. Yeah, I was super happy. It was nice to be back. Florida's always a vibe, regardless of FWC's nonsense. Florida itself is a vibe. Yeah, it was great to just see folks we usually don't ever see unless we're at Daytona. And of course the beach didn't get bit. Will is not a fan of your comment.
Yeah, no, I didn't get bit by a shark. Here's the deal, Will. Daytona Beach does have a lot of shark bites, and last year and this year I went swimming at midnight, which apparently is prime shark feeding time. So I was told, don't go swimming at that time, because if you're going to get bit by a shark, that is the time that it's going to happen. I don't generally expect to get bit by a shark. I actually love sharks a lot. And when I was a kid, I was more into sharks for a while than I was into reptiles. But I have a genetic condition where I can't get water in my ears. So I basically made the decision, well, if I can't get in the water and swim with sharks and be around them and be close to them, I'll do reptiles instead. So, like, I love sharks greatly. And, like, not just, oh, great whites are cool. Like, I love, all the sharks, from cookie cutters to goblins to threshers, lemon sharks, black tip, white tip, you name it. I love all sharks. They're awesome.
Heck yeah.
And I did get smacked by a fish while I was down there.
I saw that. What? Okay. What led up to that moment?
What happens in Daytona? No, I'm just kidding. So we were walking up and down the beach, just walking around, and I was just pointing out little things like the terns that were flying around, and then I think they're called sandpiper birds. They're running up and down the beach and stuff. And down by the pier, there was like a frozen thawed small or medium rat, and we were like, "What the hell is this doing down here?" And they're like, "Oh, the Reptile Expo this weekend." So we were like, that's weird. And everyone was like, oh no, it's not from the expo. It's like a pier rat that just died and happened to end up in the water. And I was like, I don't know. And so we're walking up and down the beach, and I kind of like walked further than everybody. And then I end up walking back, and there was this like angelfish. I was told it was an angelfish. I don't know if exactly it was an angelfish. It looked kind of like a saltwater angelfish, but it was dead. And so I like grabbed it and walked up to, it was the Jeff and Kendra from Puget Sound Pythons. Was hanging out with Dominic DeFalco and a few other people, and Kristen and everything. And I was like, hey, look, I caught a fish. And they were like, you did not just reach in and catch a fish, because they didn't realize that it was dead at first. And I'm like, yeah, it's dead. And they're like, oh my God, wait, can I smack you with the fish? And I was like, I don't care. Go ahead, whatever. And they're like, so we're going to record it. So they recorded it. I got smacked with a fish. And then like 50 feet down the beach in the opposite direction, I found like the wings and shoulders of some sort of bird. I don't even know what kind of bird it was, but there was like a little bit of spine there and everything. And I was like, dude, this beach is just like all kinds of weird stuff on there right now.
Dang.
Yeah, hey, it's what it is. It's not Daytona if some crazy stuff doesn't happen.
That's fair. That's totally fair. I have to say, have you ever eaten at that diner that was across the street from our hotel? That old school diner?
You know who went and ate there with me? Matt Bowers.
Matt,
the man, the myth, the legend.
Matt Bowers.
Mr. Peach State Pythons himself.
That's
yeah,
right.
we got skunked when we went field herping on Saturday morning. And when we got back, we were like, man, we're starving. And so me and him were like, let's go to IHOP. So we because all the rest of them were going, I don't remember. The rest of them were going someplace else. Me and him were like, oh, we're going to stop and get IHOP real quick. So we went to IHOP. They were like, oh, it's a 40-minute wait. And we're like, oh, no. We really want to get to the expo because it was already like 10 o'clock or something. 10:30.
Right.
And so we walked over to the diner and they're like, oh, we can seat you in a couple of minutes. And we're like, okay, cool. And we sat down and then we ended up waiting 40 minutes to get our food anyway. So it was like probably better off just going to IHOP. But I mean, the food was good. The pancakes were ginormous, but
yeah,
it was a pretty decent diner.
Yeah, I went there. I think it was the last day I was there. I went there in the morning. Or no, the day before the last. I went there in the morning and I was pleasantly surprised by the serving size.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is actually quite nice. Breakfast for 2 days.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Did you see their T-shirts too? They were like, sarcasm isn't extra or whatever. It's
yes.
complimentary.
Yes. I was really close to buying that one. It would have been very much on brand for me.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. That diner's pretty good, and it was good because that morning we got totally skunked. We got up early. The weather was perfect. It was a real cool morning. It was like, I think it was like low 70s, and it had rained the night before. And so we're like, oh man, we're gonna get out early. We got up at like 6 o'clock. We drove out to the spot with KJ, and we're like, oh man, everything's perfect. The sun is shining. There's like little bit of clouds and not a lot of clouds, and the roads are cool. We're temp gunning it. It's like 70 degrees, 72 degrees or whatever. So we're like, the snakes have got to be out basking first thing in the morning because heavy rain. It's cool. They got to heat up for the day. So we're gonna just go out. We're gonna see some stuff, and we got skunked. We didn't see anything. We didn't see. Or what we saw? We saw a river otter that ran in the middle of the road. That was the only thing we saw like all morning. We're like, oh man, maybe we'll see this. Maybe we'll see this. Like pygmies or not timber, eastern diamondback, or like coral or something. King snake or racer, anything, literally anything. We got skunked, and we got out and like hiked a bit too. We cruised this road a whole ton of times, and we didn't find anything. So we got up at 6 o'clock and we didn't see anything. That's okay because literally we made up for it. Each of us made different trips out to a couple different spots and ended up seeing some stuff. I saw a couple pygmies, and then Casey went out with Jeff and Kendra, and they saw the pygmies with Casey or 3 pygmies and a cottonmouth.
Heck yeah. They made up for it in the end.
Yeah. Oh, I shouldn't say we got completely skunked because we saw a baby banded water snake that got hit in the road that was dead. Ooh. And then we saw the head and neck of a Florida banded water snake that promptly hid in a pile of rocks as soon as we were like, oh, maybe we can try and catch it.
It knew.
Yeah.
It knew.
Yeah. I mean, we at least saw something, but we didn't get too close to it. So
yeah.
But then we went out on, what was it, Sunday? No, it was I think it was Monday. It's Sunday or Monday. I can't remember. It had to have been Monday because it was like getting close to when when I was going to be heading out. But we went out and it looks like it was just about to start thunder and lightning. And we're like, maybe we can get a quick road cruise in before it starts raining. And we got to the spot before everybody else. And I get out of the car and I'm like walking around a little bit. And like, boom, pygmy just curled up like right there. I was so hyped.
That's awesome.
And so I'm snapping pictures of it a little bit, and I'm trying not to get too close to it. And you can hear the thunder and just like getting closer and closer and closer. And we're like, oh crap. And so that pygmy takes off, and I'm like, crap, man. I really wanted them to be able to see it when they got there, because they were running a little bit behind. And then I saw another one, but I literally just caught a glimpse of it as it was moving through this like open brush area. And when they got there, they were like, oh, you saw a pygmy? I was like, it literally already took off. I like tried to scoop it. When it started moving, I tried to grab a stick and like scoop it over to the road. It wasn't having it. So
yeah, no, he was like, I'm out of here. I know what's coming.
Yeah. So we did a like one lap in our car following Casey and them. And then they ended up road cruising for a while afterwards, and Kristen and I went and got food. But yeah, it was I was pumped that I got to see a pygmy, because I've never found pygmy rattlesnake before. Only the second time I've seen East Coast rattlesnakes, because I've seen one timber when I lived in New England, and haven't found any other species of rattlesnake on the East Coast. So that was really cool, and it was beautiful. I got some nice pictures of my DSLR. Or my actual camera, so I'm pumped. And I'm trying to think of what else I did while I was down there. We went to I'll say it right, Buc-ee's.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, for the other way will get us demonetized.
yeah. I was like, Kristen, I'm gonna send this to him, and he's gonna either be like, Rob, what the hell? Or he's gonna be like, does he know what that is? And I was like, I think Jeremy knows that I know what that is. Like,
but Rob, I know what that is.
Oh, I know you know what that is. Trust and believe.
Oh gosh.
We went to Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's is awesome. I don't think there's a Buc-ee's in North Carolina. If there is, it's not up by me.
South Carolina.
Is there?
I heard, or there's one being built. So the deal with Buc-ee's, it's amazing.
The deal with Buc-ee's is that they have an entire wall of beef jerky, and it's like a Home Goods mixed with a gas station, mixed with what's some place that has got a lot of jerky? I don't know, like a barbecue shack or something.
Yeah,
and they got fudge and like all sorts of stuff. So
yeah, dude, that walking in there, because you went to the one that was just outside Daytona Beach, right?
Yeah.
So you got that middle island where they're like pumping out hamburgers and brisket sandwiches, and right on the back end is like fudge and brown stuff.
Bro, we got some of that fudge. That fudge was tight. It was so good. It was so good.
Oh man, yeah. I walked in there. So I went there the beginning of the week with the Zoom Ed guys, because we were coming back from Titusville, because we were supposed to go do that bioluminescent kayaking, and it got rained out, which was a bummer, but it wasn't a wasted night because the hotel was really nice. They had like a rooftop diner bar thing, so we just hung out up there, and the rain, we drowned our sorrows in the rain. But coming back, they're like, oh, let's stop at Buc-ee's. And I'm like, sure, let's do it. One of the reps that was there was their Texas rep. So he's like, yeah, Buc-ee's, let's do it. Man, I walked in there and sensory overload. Like, I was like, I don't know what is happening, but I like it. So.
Hell yeah. So you want to hear a little funny story about Buc-ee's?
Yes.
About me and Buc-ee's. So I mentioned that I bought a bunch of fudge from Buc-ee's, right?
Yes. I have an idea where this is going.
Oh yeah. So we go to the airport, and I just like tucked the fudge in the top of my backpack because I was like, oh, maybe I'll snack on it when I'm on the airplane. That's chill. I like some fudge while I'm flying. Why not? So we get to TSA, and we're starting to go through, and I go through the little scan thing, and they body scan me, and I have my suitcase in one basket and then my backpack in another basket. And so the basket that had the bag that had the fudge in it gets pulled over to get screened. And so I'm just sitting there waiting. And I don't know if people know this, but on a security scan, like their X-ray scanner thing, fudge looks suspiciously like C4, an explosive. So the dude who was looking through my bag, he like looks at it on the screen and he's like, and like, and he's like, you need to step over here. And I'm like, okay, I'll step over here. And he opens it up. He grabs the box and he's like, fudge? Chocolate? Is this fudge? And I was like, yeah, it's fudge from Buc-ee's. And he's like, oh, okay, get out of here. I was like, oh man, he's probably sweating for a hot second. Dude, he laughed too. He was like, this is fudge, isn't it? I was like, yep, that's some grade A fudge right there.
Dude, if you do not start a fudge shop called C4 Fudge,
no, guaranteed to get you in a special selection line at the airport.
We need to pitch that to Buc-ee's. Be like, you guys need a line of fudge called the C4 line.
Yeah, it's gonna be like hot pepper fudge. So you put like Carolina Reaper flakes in there, and so it's
exactly.
Like, oh, it's hot. It's explosively hot. It's like oof.
Cool. That's
yeah. Luckily, they didn't like pull me out and search my whole shit. They just like were like, oh, it's fudge, and then they're like, okay, you're good to go.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. That's amazing. Okay, before we forget, let's run our ad break for our wonderful sponsor, and we'll be right back.
Black Box Cages, located in Buford, Georgia, is your one-stop shop for all of your caging and rack needs. Owners Jen and Clint are at the helm of this fantastic company. With one of the shortest lead times in cage and rack manufacturing, Black Box can satisfy anyone's needs. From baby racks to V70s, arboreal and terrestrial caging to deep-fronted bioactive enclosures. You can find everything you need right here. New enclosure sizes and products are added frequently to their availability, so be sure to check back often. Black Box Cages have tons of customizing options for lighting and heating. Along with that, cages and racks can be stacked with metal stacking dowels, and all cage joints are dadoed for improved durability and stability. Most cage units are flat packed, but are pre-assembled prior to shipping to ensure a solid build every time. The Micro, XC18, XT3, Bio-G, and 3-stack V70 ship assembled, and all other racks are shipped freight and assembled. The XR16 and XR20 model racks allow keepers to mix and match tubs. Fitting both Vision and Freedom Breeder tubs, you can mix the V15, V18, and V35S tubs, or the FB5, FB8, and FB35CV SC tubs. This kind of flexibility allows keepers to raise their animals from hatchling to juvenile or subadult size before needing to upgrade into adult caging. Don't just take our word for it. Go to their website to see countless customer reviews and review videos from keepers all over. To learn more about Black Box Cages, follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Black Box Cages, and of course their website, www.blackboxcages.com. Links to their socials and website will be available in the podcast description.
Bam! So massive shout out to Black Box Cages, and I'm going to plug this in because it just went up on their Instagram about an hour ago. Some new updates to some of the stuff that they've got. The XT4 and XT3 enclosures are now available with sliding doors. And the XT3 and XT3s now come in a single drop-down door option. So as always, guys, go check them out, blackboxcages.com. Hit them up. Tell them we sent you. Just do it.
Oh,
Just do it.
yeah.
So Daytona, I'm trying to think what probably the most memorable thing for Daytona for me was. Actually, you know what? There's two things. And maybe you'll have a similar experience on one of them. First thing was, I think I've talked to you before, and I probably mentioned it on the podcast, the palmetto corn snake stuff. I've been wanting to take that in the direction of getting the high pink coral ghost stuff.
Ooh, yeah.
The palmettos to get, gray and pink dots and more pink dots and everything like that. So I was talking with Lee Abbott and Brian, I will not say his last name because I'll butcher it, from NBK Reptiles. And Brian is working on that project, if I remember correctly. And he brought up something in that conversation that I was not thinking about, but made me pause on the project. And that is the fact that the pink takes time to come in. So he had some animals that were almost 2 years old before he started seeing the pink dots. So he made some salmon snow palmettos. So it was an all white snake right out of the egg. Cool, fine. In an effort to just get pink dots. So there'd be you're not going to see the white dots, but just to get the pink dots. And it took nearly 2 years to start seeing pink dots. So that was a bit of a turnoff for me on that project. I think it will be different with the ghost stuff because at least you'll be able to see the gray dots. So at least you'll see some sort of texture there. But yeah, thinking about that taking that long before seeing the pink made me be like, man, I don't want to hold these snakes back for 2 years. The whole purpose is to make them and then sell them. But if I'm holding it back for 2 years, I'm just keeping the damn thing.
Yeah, you might as well keep it at that point.
Yeah, so I still think it's a cool project and definitely something worth it if you're interested in just making a couple really, super cool snakes. But it made me kind of pause on that and made me think about wanting to go in other directions with palmetto. Like Travis Whistler had a butter palmetto at the show. I don't know if you saw that, but it was like white with just bright yellow spots on it. And I was like, that's kind of cool just because it was so different. So that was number one. The other conversations that I was just kind of like listening in on, and also were happening on Facebook later, we're talking about, how some of the, not necessarily old school or OG herpers, but the previous generation of reptile keepers, like the Michael Coles, the Sean Hefflecks, the Greg Grazianis, and all that stuff, coming into the show and being like, well, we only recognize 4 people. Like, what the heck is going on? So the show's changed a lot. And I think for multiple reasons, I think a lot of those guys that are getting into their 50s now are just kind of like, I don't need to do shows, because they've either built a big enough name for themselves or they've downsized to a point where they don't need the shows as a vehicle to sell animals. But the interesting thing was how some of them kind of scoffed at what's essentially our generation going into the next generation of keeper. And it made me think generationally what has transpired in the reptile industry in the last 3 generations. Our generation, I'll say, being like the 3rd generation. So if you think before the Kevins and Bryans and Michael Coles and all those guys, there was a generation before that, the Craig Trumbauers, the Phil DeVogel, like all those guys. Those are the guys that, in my brain, that first large-scale generation of reptile keepers, they were the guys that were figuring how to keep things alive, right? How to keep things alive, how to breed them, what the quirks were, what the nuances were, to actually just have fun and do this. Then the Kevin Bryan generation, that was the generation that figured out how to monetize it, how to make it a business, and how to make a living off of it. And then, our generation we're well, you're in your 30s. I'll be 30 this year. We're the guys coming in on the tail end of make it a business, but also bring it to the masses. Put it on social media, educate people online versus only in person when you get the opportunity. So the generation that's coming after us now, these kids that are in their late teens, maybe early 20s, what are they bringing to the table, for the industry? What's their next big move? So it just got me thinking a lot about that generational pull from each end, where we've got, if you really think about that, only 4 generations, we go from figuring out how to keep things to making an amazing, business out of, keeping and breeding snakes, all the way to now sending it out to the masses and opening it up for everybody to get involved. Like that's kind of crazy to think about in just 3 generations of doing this,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was interesting to hear that and kind of listen to that and get some people's different thoughts on it. There's some people that are excited for where it's going, and there are other people that are, grumpy and think that the generation after us is a bunch of no good, no nothings. So, which in some cases might actually be true, but that's right. That's the flip side of social media is like, you can get a viral video and suddenly get, 100,000 plus followers, but you don't really know anything. You just had a viral video happen.
Yep.
So that's the flip side of social media, as we move things forward. But it's, I don't know. It was just an interesting, thought-provoking aspect to Daytona that I wasn't prepared for, but glad to be a part of some of those conversations.
Yeah, I think that when it comes to looking at that generational gap on things, that one of the things that worries me, like there's lots of things I like about the kind of the direction that people are headed in now. People are kind of wanting to enjoy their animals a little bit more, give things bigger enclosures so they can watch them and, see more of their natural habits and everything. And that's great. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm moving towards that with, a bunch of my animals. I've got, scrubs in cages, like enclosures now, where I was mostly keeping in racks before. I'm going to be moving some carpets into cages soon. And so just so I can enjoy them a little bit more. But I do worry because there is this like huge pushback against breeders, or maybe it's just my own perception, but there's this kind of pushback against people who breed. And if there is not people breeding a lot of these animals and more than I produce an odd clutch here or there,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of this stuff could end up maybe not disappearing but becoming significantly harder for people to get. So think about your favorite kind of reptile, if it's not a ball python or like a corn snake or something, and if you wanted one of those things, but there's not somebody who's working with, a group of 60 of them or 50, or, a big group of them, or a couple people working with a big group of them.
Yeah.
If there's only 3 clutches of this particular type of snake that you want, just think about the numbers. There's not going to be enough supply for the demand for the number of people that would like that type of animal. And that's kind of what we're seeing with scrub pythons right now. There's this huge demand, not a whole lot of people breeding them right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not the easiest things to breed. And the people who are producing them generally are holding on to them so that they can continue working them into the future. And I just think that when I think about the newest generation, a lot of them are like, oh, these people are breeding things and they've got them in racks and I hate that and they should never do that. And it's like, well, here's the deal. If you would like to have some of these things, or like for other people to be able to have access to these things without it being, a $5,000 animal or a $2,000 animal, or even to be attainable at all, there has to be some number of people who have got them in decent numbers. And when you do that, you kind of do have to work with racks. You kind of do have to work with what you can do. And, I think that there is a line that we need to walk. So make sure that you're taking care of your animals properly, making sure that everything's getting attention that it needs and everything. But there are people who are like, if you've got racks, you're wrong. And those people are really loud and annoying. And you know, it is what it is. I think that if you can keep your animals in cages, do it. But there are also animals that don't do great in cages, like Bloods and Short Tails. Like,
Right.
I think that's one of the things that just rubs me super wrong about that whole argument, because people are like, everything should go in a rack or a cage. And I'm like, okay, I've got Bloods that, like, you keep them in a rack and they're fine. They're easy to work with. Everything's cool. But you take them and put them in a cage and they lose it minds, because and it doesn't matter how much stuff you put in there, or if you use live plants or you use UV, it doesn't matter. It is not comfortable. It's not happy in that type of enclosure. And when people start, well, they're like, well, how would you feel? And it's like, I'm not a snake. I don't know how I would feel. I'm going by how the animal feels and how it reacts to me. The animal's acting calm and you know, easy to work with. It's probably not agitated. And if you change the setup and all of a sudden now it's losing its mind, maybe you're using your monkey brain to think about what you think it wants, and not using a snake brain to think about what the snake wants, or the lizard or the gecko or the frog or whatever.
Yep.
There's just a lot more to it than some people seem to think, and that's where, like, I just feel this kind of disconnect from both sides on things, because the old guys are like, well, we bred them in racks forever and that's all you need to do. And it's like, yeah, but you ever seen a carpet python perched up like a green tree? It's pretty freaking cool, man. Like,
yeah, right.
You can branches, they'll perch just like a green tree. It's pretty awesome. My IJ carvers do that all the time. That jungle that I set up in the protein enclosure, it sits perched like a green tree all the time. And if I was keeping it in a rack, I just wouldn't see that. And so for me, it's just, you know, I like to put it in an enclosure where I can watch it and enjoy it, and it gets a little bit more out of life. And, you know, I don't have everything in everything in enclosures. I don't have everything in racks. It is definitely something to really, really think about.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, it's interesting that you said that, because that was one of the things. So one of the panel discussions that I was on at AnimalCon was talking about breeding snakes, and we had a decent amount of time open for Q&As. And this topic got brought up, as people are keeping more things in cages, and, you know, is that where the hobby's going and stuff. And, you know, one of the things that I had said was, you know, just like you said, not every species does great in a cage, just like not every species does great in a rack, you know.
Yep.
It goes both ways. But when you're talking about something that, you know, you want an affordable pet, right? You think about what it takes financially to heat a rack versus X amount of cages, you know, that where cages using lights and heat mats, and maybe you've got UV on it or whatever, all these other things. That eats up way more electricity than that, you know, 3, 5, 10-inch piece of heat tape that's now heating 3 snakes or 4 snakes, depending on the size of your rack. You know, so if it costs, you know, maybe let's say $30 for a baby normal ball python, you know, but the parents are being kept in a rack, you know, if we really got down to the nitpicky, you know, brass taxes of everything, you know, that for the cost of food for the adults, the cost of food for the babies, the cost to heat each individual tub, all those things, if you wanted to break all of that down, which you could do if you wanted to be that guy, you know, now you're looking at what those numbers really look like and how that plays into it. So, you know, let's say the cost is maybe, you know, $3.50, you know, per drawer in a rack, you know, for that ball python. Okay, yeah, it makes sense to sell it for $30. But now you add a heat panel, you add a light, you add this, you add that. Now suddenly it costs you $15 to maintain one animal, when it costs you, what, $10 to maintain 3 or 4? You know, so now instead of a $50 or $30 ball python, it's a $50 or $60 ball python. You know, it's got to, it has to weigh out in some way, shape, or form from a business financial analytic aspect. If we're just talking about, I want to have a couple snakes and, maybe breed them once in a while. Yeah, sure. Throw your ball pythons in a cage. It's no big deal. But on the larger scale side of things, it has to make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And, it just is what it is. And there's always going to be people who are unhappy with one way or the other way. And that's why I just don't involve myself in online arguments, because it's at the end of the day, I'm not changing either of their minds. The people who are in here listening to us right now, I assume that most of them have got a brain and can think and are going to, come to their own conclusions. And, if they're on the fence, I'm more than happy to give my input as someone who's worked with over 100 species of reptiles probably at this point. I don't know, that's got to be worth something. There are lots of species I can tell you that don't do great in racks. I can also tell you there's a few species that do great in racks. And, it boils down to what the animal wants and then what you are willing to accommodate for that animal to work with your life as well. Yep. And, it is what it is. So I think that the thing that I kind of took away from Daytona, getting to see some of those, people who I'm not part of the older generation, but I kind of feel akin with them because I was into reptiles when I was 5 years old. I was subscribed to Reptiles magazine when it came out, when I was 6 years old or something, and reading the articles and getting into all that sort of stuff. And, when the internet came around, I was talking to people who were breeding things when I was far too young, or not too young, but younger than most people would be, getting into all that sort of stuff. And so getting to see Ron St. Pierre and hang out with Craig Trumbauer a little bit and, see Michael Cole and some of these other people. It was just really cool to me. Keith McPeak was there and I always love seeing Keith. Yeah. And it was it was a huge, it was almost whiplash because I got these guys who I'm sitting there just listening to them talk. And I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. This is so cool. And there's people who come up to me, they're like, oh my goodness, it's Rob. I used to watch your nerd videos all the time. And I'm like, hey, how's it going? Sit here and talk to these people for a little bit. And, they're looking at me kind of how I'm looking at him. And it's weird being in this kind of sandwich because I'm like, you want to talk to me? Look, you should talk to this guy over here, for real.
Right. Yeah, right. Exactly. Shout out to Benny for the super chat for the podcast. Thank you, man. We appreciate you.
We do appreciate that a lot. And I'm trying to think of hanging out with all the people on Friday night and Saturday night at the gazebo. Always awesome. Getting to talk to people. Just seeing so many different people and everybody's enjoying themselves, having a good time, talking a little bit about the animals, talking a little bit about life and field herping. And man, I just I get so caught up in all that sort of stuff. My head's spinning because I'm I want to go sit and listen to them talk about this. And I really want to talk to this person about this. And there's only so much time that we got. And, spending some time with Kristen and going on the beach and doing some regular vacation stuff too. I think that it was a pretty good expo for me. I don't know, man. The second room, I wish that there was a little bit better signage just for everything going on at the expo. Maybe they'll work on that for next year, but I don't know. Overall, I thought it was pretty good, but I know that a lot of people were not super thrilled about the second room. People who usually do really good money there said that they were not doing too good on selling things there, which is the point of them driving a full day to be there. Man, I'm just trying to think of some other things that popped up while I was there. I don't know. I saw a lot of cool animals and a lot of cool people. So
we're definitely some cool animals. It was super cool to be able to chat with Ron St. Pierre as much as we did. I remember when I told you Ron St. Pierre wants to talk to you.
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, me?
Yeah, dude, I was like at his table, like I didn't even interject in the conversation. I was just like standing with a bunch of people, and then like when things died down, he like extended his hand and was like, "How's it going, Jeremy?" And I was like, I was like, "Do you know who you are?" Like,
literally, bro.
Yeah, like that was a big highlight for me for sure.
And he was like, "If you guys ever come down here, you got an open invite. You can come. We'll check out."
Oh my god! Yeah,
like, ah!
Yeah, dude. We gotta do just a Florida reptile guy trip, where we like fly out of here, fly down to Miami, and just zigzag up. Yeah, just zigzag up Florida, and then like peace out of Orlando or whatever.
Yup.
Like,
yeah, I'm so down, dude. I'm so down because I'm jealous that Kevin got to go to Iguanaland. I haven't been to Iguanaland yet.
I know.
I want to see some of the animals that they got there, and of course hang out with Ty a little bit. And man, damn, Mike Kosicki's in the chat. What's up, man?
Hey.
It was awesome to get to chat with you again and hang out a little bit. Yeah, the gazebo was sweet. Just man. I don't know. It was a great weekend. I'm a little bummed that I didn't go to AnimalCon, but I don't know. I was thinking about AnimalCon, like I don't know if that's exactly my scene. I'd just be people would be like, "Oh my god, it's Robin." I'd be like, "It's me."
The way I think about it, dude, is like think about it as like when we're at the expos and people they come up, they want to take a picture. They're like, "Oh man, it's so cool to meet you," and they talk for a few minutes and then like carry on. Like that's basically what it was.
Yeah, I really the one person that I saw pictures that was there. Actually, there's a couple people, but Reptiliatus, he's really cool.
Yes,
from Canada. And I talked to him a little bit on Instagram. And then the dude from Dark Den who does tarantula stuff.
Yep.
I wanted to meet him because he doesn't know me. He doesn't know who I am. I think it's cool that there's so many people who have converted to tarantulas because of his videos. So I would be like, dude, you're doing good work. I appreciate it. Hell yeah. Tarantulas are awesome.
Heck yeah. Absolutely. It was also super cool to meet Mikey from Ants Canada.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Like I remember walking into the room to do my meet and greet, and he's in the room doing his meet and greets, and there's like a line of people. Dude, people flew from all over the country, and I think there were a couple people that flew in from Europe specifically to meet Mikey.
That's wild.
It was insane. Like, oh my God. Super cool guy. I didn't get to talk with him too much. I wish I got to hang with him some more. But the last night that we were there, a whole bunch of us were chilling out by the pool, and we got to talk for a while with his camera guy, Cheston, who also happens to be a recording engineer and guitar player. So Kevin and I and Cheston were like having like a giant musicians powwow on one side of the table, and everyone's like, what is happening? So that was super cool. Natalie's Reptiles with the super chat. That's how I'm going to react when I meet you guys. You're amazing. You're going to be at Tinley, right, Natalie? We will be at Tinley for sure. Yeah. It was always also great to see Phil. I'll mention that as well. Phil Goss was in the building. But make sure you're following USARK. Georgia just had their alert get posted. Proposed ban on the black and white tegu, which is not surprising. Indian pythons, Burmese pythons, and I think there's one other thing on that list as well. Yeah. But so please make sure you're checking out USARK and following them. The virtual meeting is September 13th for that. So if you're able, please sign up for that. Get there, be there, support your keepers down in Georgia. Yeah, because they're late to the party here in the Southeast, but we're not shocked about it. But I chuckled because the first night of after party shenanigans, Phil was nowhere to be seen, and I was like, I know Phil usually come, he'll hang, and then like I got the email about the Georgia alert, and I was like, this man just can't stop working.
Yeah. I gotta apologize to Phil because when he was leaving Daytona, he was like packing up the table, and I think there was one person helping him, but he was kind of like just doing his thing, and he's got his suitcase up over his shoulder, and then he's dragging another one behind him, and I was like, "Is no one helping you right now, dude?" And I like went over to go like help him, and he's like, "I'm not an old man, I can take my own bag," and I was like, "Sorry, I was like, I want to help."
It's so fun. I went over to the table right before I did the little live video with him. I went over to the table and we're just chit chatting, me, him, and Vanessa, and we're chatting whatever. And then like 5 minutes later, I'm like, all right, man, hey, you want to do this live video real quick? He's like, you didn't have to hang out for 5 minutes just to ask me. You could have just pulled me aside. And I was like, motherfucker, no, hang. I enjoyed the conversation, you jerk.
Yeah. I actually like Phil a lot. He's got a really good sense of humor.
Yeah, Phil's great. Phil is great, for sure.
A lot of people don't get it. They're like, oh, he's so prim and proper. I'm like, you haven't been to an auction, have you?
Yeah.
Also, I want to shout out the Daytona auction raised just shy of $100,000 for US ARC. So
yep.
big shout to those people who were at the auction on Saturday night. It was a lot of fun. Lots of cool stuff. You saw Phil wielding doing his thing. I don't know if we can say that.
Huh?
I said I don't know if we can say what it was on here, but
it was a custom designed gun that Michael Cole made.
Yeah,
which was pretty cool. That got donated. Yeah, no, that was awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty.
That
cool.
was awesome.
The memes that came out after it were pretty funny.
I think Bob Vu had like photoshopped Phil with the gun in his hand, like in the background of a photo, and was like, "It's not like anybody holds a gun to my head to go to these auctions."
I saw another one was like, "Sign up for US ARC or else." I was like,
so good, so good. Oh my gosh. Yeah, good times. Yeah, Phil can definitely hang, and yeah, I mean he's a great guy to just chat with and get some dry humor from.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love it.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. So yes, Daytona next year. Cannot wait. It's the annual hang.
I hope that it actually happens and that they don't ban everything in Florida.
I know. Hopefully not.
I didn't even talk about my flag, but that's okay.
Oh yes, we got. This is okay. We're going a little over. So Rob's got this amazing flag.
Yes.
He can go into way more detail about, but he got it signed by a whole bunch of people at Daytona, and it's pretty epic. It is pretty epic.
Yeah, so basically I got Adeline Robinson when the Roe v. Wade thing got overturned. She made a custom design of a timber rattlesnake, the Don't Tread on Me rattlesnake, but it's kind of curled up into like a uterus, and it says Don't Tread on Me. And I was like, hell yeah, that's freaking awesome. And so I bought the flag, and then I got it a couple weeks ago, and I was like, man, I wonder if I can bring this down to Daytona and just have people sign it, because like a couple years ago when we did Tinley, I had people sign my Pythons of Southeast Asia book, and it's just like a cool little memento to like have and look back through, see all the people that were there and everything. And so I was like, I think I'm going to do that. So I started asking people to sign it. I think on the second or third day. I probably should have started right at the beginning, because I saw Keith McPeak like when we first got there, and then I didn't barely see him at all for the rest of the weekend. I think I saw him like twice, but I didn't get him to sign it, which is like, damn it. I told him I'm going to have to bring it someplace else where he's at so I can get him to sign it, because he was there. And he's one of the people I really wanted to get signed it. But I got a lot of like awesome people. I got Ron St. Pierre on there. I got Craig Trumbauer signed it.
Can I
Johnny Boy?
Johnny Boy.
The Django Johnny Boy.
So there's two people that signed that I like was like, what the heck is happening? One was Johnny Boy, freehanding that little Asian water drawing. Like, holy crap. And then 2 was Craig Trumbauer. Craig Trumbauer is in his 70s, and he's getting all amped up and is like running a start, like all this stuff. Like, he's so awesome.
He is awesome, bro. Bro, when I asked him if he would sign it, he said, well, if I sign it, it's going to be worth $100 less now. You know that, right? I was like, he drew a little rattlesnake rattle above part of his name and then a tongue coming off the end of it. I was like, yeah, this dude, he can hang, man.
Yeah,
he's awesome.
He totally hang. Yeah, that was so cool.
Yeah, I was like, hell yeah, that's awesome. And then, well, John Dragon is like one of the first people who signed it, and he's like, is it cool if I like draw something on here? And I was like, go for it, man. I was expecting like a stick figure or a phallic object, and he's sitting there, he's like over there just like kind of drawing away and doing this thing, and then he hands it over to me, and it's like an immaculate water dragon, like a not water dragon, water monster, and it's like, it's incredible. It's like, it's like,
well done.
You just drew that from memory? Like, are you kidding me right now, bro? And literally every person who signed it after that was like, oh, what the hell is this? Who signed? John Dragon signed that shit? Oh my God, he just free-handed that? Even Adeline was like, wow, holy crap.
Yeah, especially because it's like, that was on that material. Very, like, not drawing friendly material. So imagine what actually happens when he gets, pen and paper, or pencil and paper in his hand. Like, holy crap.
I want to go grab it real quick. I don't remember where I put it, though. I'm going to look for 1 second, and if I don't find it, that's fine. We can wrap things up. But I really want to see if I can find it so I can show that drawing, because it's awesome.
Do it. Heck yeah, it was super cool. I mean, it's like the giant Daytona 2022 yearbook, pretty much. But it was awesome. I think every Daytona is an experience for sure. This past Daytona for me, I think was a massive highlight. Hey, he's got it. Okay, all right. Where's this, John?
You're watching the YouTube video right now.
Look at that, dude. Look at that. He free-handed that.
He free-handed that. Like it was nothing.
That's so crazy. If you're on the audio only, you have to come check out the last few minutes on YouTube just to see this.
And then Catherine Brown, the Reptile Whisperer.
Yep. Heck yeah. Is Brian Craig's?
Oh, Craig Trumbauer. He is over here someplace. Right there.
Look at him with the cool little tongue and rattlesnake. Dude, he's done that for his whole life. Like,
that's awesome. It's awesome. That Adeline, Colby Nelson. It's just April Wingfield. Like, it's stacked, man. It's stacked. Yeah.
It's an awesome flag, dude. It's an awesome memory of an awesome weekend.
See everything, but it's pretty sweet. I'm pumped. It's going up in my reptile room.
Heck yeah.
I just was like, I need that. And it came out even better than I was expecting. And I got a lot of signatures that I was not expecting to get. So, hey.
Hell yeah.
Sorry, I had the mic over there.
No, you're good. Okay, so we've gone over our time. I don't care, because it's great to just do another episode and talk with you and hang.
Yeah.
You know the deal, man. What in the realm of reptiles has got you excited about reptiles right now?
The thing that's got me really excited, I can't talk about yet. Because,
I said true.
Oh man, what has got me excited right now? There's so many different things. Daytona was freaking awesome. Seeing that pygmy rattlesnake was so cool. Man, I wasn't prepared at all. Oh my god, I'm trying to think. Caden just posted that picture of the Nautinus gecko. That thing is awesome.
That was super cool.
I know that there's something else. I know that there's something else. Dude, all these people doing passion projects. That's what I'm excited about this year. I've seen so many people just hatching out amazing things. We're going to have Rick Crumine come on. He's hatched out black-headed pythons this year. He's hatched out Woma pythons this year. He's hatched out white lip pythons this year. He's hatched out lots of Pituophis.
Yes.
Every time that he posts something, I'm like, dude, how many different species do you breed? Are you kidding me right now, bro?
Yeah, exactly.
And then
he's crushing
Eric, Eric from NPR was hatching out rhino rats. He hatched out white lip pythons. That's his passion project, bro. Hatched out white lip pythons, the gold white lip pythons for the first time. Man, I've seen 2 different people bred croc monitors this year, bro. Are you kidding me? Bro, that shit's crazy.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I was pumped about that. Chris Foley's got croc monitor eggs right now. I'm totally blanking on. There's one other person who just hatched some too. I cannot remember who it is though right now. I'll think about it when this is over. But 2 different people bred croc monitors this year. Viable eggs, incredible. Man, this year has been passion project year for a lot of people, and I'm here for it. I love seeing people winning. I love seeing people produce things that they've been working and trying and going after for, so long and doing it. I'm trying to think. Gary Chavino hatched out some badass Savu pythons. Man, who else? Yeah, that crazy albino cherry head redfoot tortoise. That was
the albino thing.
Cool.
Yeah, that thing was crazy.
That thing was really cool. I'm trying to think of what else, man. Literally back to back, I'm seeing people do passion project stuff, and I love that. That's what's got me hyped about reptiles right now, because there's something satisfying about going after something and working with them and trying and failing and trying, and then finally something clicks and you get to produce that thing that you really want. Just seeing that, I love that. That's every time I see somebody making something that they've been trying to do, that just gets me hyped.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
All right, so you, Jeremy, what in the realm of reptiles has got you excited about reptiles right now?
There's a couple things. Obviously, I'm going to second what you just said. People, really pushing their passion projects. I think that's amazing. And this year has definitely been the year of seeing people just crush it. I'm super excited also that seems like this year has been more rough scale pythons produced in the U.S. than any other year before.
Matt Minatola produced some, bro.
I remember going to Matt's Carpet Fest right before I started at Nerd, and he had just gotten them. Like they weren't I think it was he had just gotten the male. He had the female, but he had just gotten the male, I think it was. They were still pretty young. So it was cool to see him. He, followed through on that and produced a great clutch of them. So heck yeah, like that geeks me out, because that's one of the few species that I still want to add into my own collection. But selfishly, I'm super excited about this new ball python, the Hidden Woma Black Pastel Inchy Clown. I don't know what it's going to look like as an adult, and I want to know. So that's got me geeked. And then lastly, just because of where I just came from, I'm in for some retic stuff, primarily retic stuff that's happening in North Carolina, because I just went to go visit our buddy Aubrey. Seeing those caramel ocelots in person. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. He's also got some other insane retics, and he was nice enough to let me film some stuff over there. So I'll be putting together just nothing crazy, but a short little reel for Instagram, just kind of showing some of the highlight animals. There were a lot of animals. Yeah, I'm bummed. I wanted to get some footage of the Bacan, but she was super, super deep in shed. So she didn't really look all that spectacular, and also wasn't really thrilled about being messed with. So we didn't do anything with her. But yeah, shout out to Aubrey for all the stuff that he's got going on. Dude, the orange glow double het ocelot pied stuff. I mean, holy crap, he's got so much cool retic stuff going on. And he's got some super dwarf stuff that's moving to. I mean, just cool retics. I don't really get geeked about retics anymore. Like I've got my few that I just like to have, and that's pretty much it. But going over to his place and seeing some of those, I would easily say the highest end retic collection in the country. Easily. You know, I don't care who else has what. Like, you're not gonna, you can't hold a candle at what Aubrey's got. That's just a fact. So
yeah, dude, the super pecans are pretty fucking amazing. Like, I don't really like retics, but a super pecan maybe could get me to change my mind a little. Like, I like those old school tigers, and then the super pecan emeraldos are pretty freaking sweet. Yeah, I was like retic stuff, and I was like, oh, Aubrey, yes. Yes.
When you see this reel that I posted, I'm probably gonna post it tomorrow. Holy crap. Like, just holy crap. There's some cool stuff. Like, some stuff that glows.
Oh, I got one more thing that's got me hyped. Dan Magano bred a side swipe to a skunk, Borneo.
Oh,
yeah. Holy crap, bro. Those are the fucking hottest Borneos that I've seen. And he's been sending me pictures, like, as things have been, like, you know, when they first hatch, and then a week after they get a little bit more of that color on them. Oh, my God, dude.
Crazy.
Like, that project, when I saw those babies, I was like, well, I know one of the pairings I'm doing next year, because that is just ridiculous. They're so incredible looking.
Yeah.
They just literally make my face melt with how amazing they look. And like
great.
Borneos, a lot of them are like, you know, they look a little, you know, there's some that really grab your attention. When I saw those, I was like, God damn, that's exactly what I like. It's amazing.
That's how I
feel
about this. See if it focuses in.
Is that an orange glow thing?
It's with a whole lot more other stuff. It's focus. There we go.
Yeah.
Look at the saturation on that snake, dude.
It's very orange. It's tang. It's a kick in the glass.
Dude. But yeah, I got a couple cool little video clips for this reel. But yes, there's so much cool stuff happening right now.
Yeah.
So heck yeah, man.
All right, Jeremy, if people want to find out more about you, where are they gonna go?
Find me everywhere at Brassman Reptiles. Literally everywhere, because I hate my life and social media runs it. So how about you, Rob?
You can find me on TikTok, Rob is Creeping It Real, on Instagram, Rob is Creeping It Real. That's about it. I am going to be posting stuff on Morph Market. I really need to like actually buckle down and do Morph Market, because I know that I've got a few people who have inquired about carpet pythons, and like I'll message them, and then like I get busy doing stuff, and it's been 2 days, and I'm like, I really need to message them back. I really wish that I just need to post something on my Morph Market that's like, if you're interested in something, send me a screenshot on Instagram. I'll talk to you there, because I have too many different messaging things, and I get my ADD brain can't handle it. I forget that it exists. So I'm like, I post stuff on there and then I forget. So I'll be on Morph Market. I think it's Rob is Creeping It Real too. I try and keep everything close to that, or Creeping It Real Rob or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, Rob is Creeping It Real. Check all those things. Aside from that, that should be it. And then, like I was saying, we're going to try and get Rick Cremine on here. He's had an incredible year. I really want to talk to him about the stuff that he's been doing. Trace Hardin, bro. He did all of his pythons with maternal incubation this year, so I really want to talk to him about that. And we're going to have some cool stuff lined up, so make sure you tune in. And please share this if you think somebody might enjoy this conversation. We had a good time.
Yeah. Peace, guys.